Rückentraining, was würdest du ihm empfehlen, wenn er sagt, hey, ich will einfach jetzt mal hier ein bisschen den Rücken rausbringen, Tiefe, Breite, alles?
Man muss halt immer sehen, es gibt ja zwei verschiedene Rückenpartien, die man trainieren kann. Einmal die, wo man zieht und einmal die, wo man rudert. Ich glaube, Rücken an sich ist ein sehr komplexer Muskel, weil er groß, flächig ist und halt nur mit verschiedenen Winkeln zu bearbeiten ist. Man darf halt nie unterscheiden, ich trainiere Rücken. Ja. Ich trainiere Latissimus und ich trainiere die Rückenmuskulatur, das sind zwei verschiedene Dinge. Latissimus geht halt immer über den Zug mit einem breiten Griff, somit fange ich immer an, um die Connection herzustellen überhaupt in den Rücken, die Verbindung vom Kopf, Synapsen zu bilden in die Rückenmuskulatur, das heißt, fange ich immer mit dem Latzug an. Wenn ich nicht so fett gewesen wäre, hätte ich auch gerne einen Klimmzug gemacht, aber ich war immer zu schwer, deswegen habe ich es nicht gepackt. Ja. Also ich bin kein Feind von Klimmzügen, aber ich habe es halt nie gekickt. Ja.
Die Übung ist ja die gleiche, ob ich jetzt einen Latzug mache oder...
Ich habe es halt immer schön mit dem Latzug gemacht, mit 160 Kilo, das ging ganz gut. Und dann habe ich halt gerudert, dann ging es Rudern vorgebeugt oder ich habe es auch mit Kurzhandel gemacht oder mit der SZ-Stange, wo ich letztes Mal ein Video gemacht habe, wo du leicht im Incline liegst, schön der Rückenzug. Wichtig ist nur, dass du es gut spürst, wie die Brust, auch im Rücken, immer ein gutes Muskel-Zug-Verhältnis haben. Wichtig ist halt nur, dass du wirklich die Zug- und die Ruderübung immer kombinierst, deswegen würde ich sagen 3 Zug-, 3 Ruderübungen, dann kann man nichts falsch machen. Auch viel mit Untergriff arbeiten, ja, weil du halt im Untergriff tiefer in den Rücken reinkommst. Hat Oren Yates schon gemacht, so ganz falsch war er damit nicht. Viele haben es dann irritiert, wussten gar nicht warum. Genau das ist der Grund, wenn du den Bizeps ein bisschen rausnehmen, wir kommen tiefer in den Rücken rein, deswegen ist die Ruderbewegung 10-mal intensiver, wie wenn du es mit einem normalen Griff machst. Deswegen geht der rudert immer im Untergriff, das ist die Hauptveränderung, die ihr eigentlich vornehmen könnt.
I want to ask Ryan about your shoulder training. So what do you prefer for your shoulders? What exercises? What do you pay attention to?
Well, shoulders are funnily enough, my favourite muscle part. So for me, again, it's all about varying your training. So week in, week out, I try to change the form of how I train them. So if I'm 1 week focusing, what I'll tend to do is hit 2 front, 2 side, 2 rear, and then I'll go for 2 shrugs. So it's 8 exercises in my shoulder workouts. Like I say, I don't go in with too much of a plan of reps and sets. It's all about how I feel on the day. And what I'll try and do is try and alternate them. So if 1 week I'm starting on the front, the second week I'll be starting on the back. It's just to give, to vary it basically, keep shocking the body. I did used to do a lot of pressing at the start to warm all parts, all 3 heads to the shoulder before going into isolating. And I tend to finish on shrugs at the minute. For me, I like to do ascending sets, descending sets, is variations. Like I trained shoulders yesterday, and a great one for getting the caps, because I was always obsessed with getting those boulder shoulders, getting those caps. So the wider your shoulders look, the more tapered your waist is going to look on stage. So for me, I did focus a lot of my training on side laterals, trying to get that head, overcompensating with partials, anything to keep the blood volume in there and the variation there. But again, like I say, mind to muscle connection, you've got to feel it. There's no point just throwing heavy weight or arching your lower back, putting stress on into your chest. It's all about making sure you're isolating the shoulder basically.
Let's say we have the case you trained for 3 years and you, after 2.5 years, you recognize, okay, there's no progression. You stick always to the same level. What is your advice? What should we check? What should we do?
It's obviously you've got to start trying to vary your workouts more, or starting to look at the calorie intake. Obviously, again, you go back to the nutrition side. If you're looking for strength, things like that, that's going to help by having the right nutrition. And also, it's worth going to places like this or looking at strength, a different type of training to try and increase that outcome, that goal. For me, it's bringing that condition, trying to bring that condition every year and trying to improve on that condition. For me, that's not in the training side, that's the nutrition side. So every time I'm prepping, like again, I go back to nutrition, but every time I'm prepping, I make small changes, nothing major to make a huge change, small changes in order to keep improving, to see if that works and if it doesn't. So it's the same in your training, you've got to keep varying it and keep changing and saying, right, that isn't working for me. And the enjoyment, you've got to make sure you're enjoying it. You're never going to progress in something you dislike or you don't enjoy. So if there's something you don't, then change it round and keep it going.
Markus, wie sieht es bei dir aus mit Plateaus? Hast du in deiner Karriere mal einen Tipp gehabt, wo du gesagt hast?
Ich habe keine.
Jetzt nur Plateaus.
Bei mir ging es immer ab. Nein, jeder hat irgendwann einen Punkt, wo es nicht weitergeht. Ja. Das ist ja ganz normal. Der Körper ist ja keine Maschine. Das sind manchmal Dinge, die vielleicht auch aus psychischer Sicht reinkommen, wo ich einfach blockieren, um weiteres Muskelwachstum einfach zu hindern oder das Kraftniveau. Was ich immer den Tipp gebe, nicht verzagen, nicht gleich aufgeben, nicht alles in Frage stellen.
Ja.
Ryan hat gesagt, vielleicht das eine oder andere am Essen ein bisschen ändern, vielleicht versuchen die Kalorien zu erhöhen, ein bisschen mehr Eiweiß, ein bisschen mehr Kohlenhydrate oder den Trainingspensum auch etwas runterzuschrauben, um mehr Regeneration zu generieren, um dann wieder anzugreifen. Es wird wieder weitergehen, keiner bleibt irgendwo stehen. Natürlich sind es genetisch bedingt, hat jeder seine Grenzen.
Ja. Aber da muss man schon sehr hart und sehr lang. Das sind oft die Ausreden, die dann kommen.
Ja.
Ich bin bei meiner genetischen Grenze.
Natural und nicht natural, sondern ich glaube, da ist viel mit Nutrition, viel im Training, wo man noch ändern kann. Und vor allem auch gerade bei Supplements ist sehr viel wohl falsch gemacht wird, wo man viel rausholen kann. Also da hinterfragen, alles aufschreiben, was mache ich denn, was mache ich falsch, was mache ich richtig. Kleine Schrauben verdrehen, um dann wieder weiterhin Fortschritte zu bekommen.
Jetzt haben wir schon eine gute Überleitung zum Thema Supplementation, bevor jetzt du gleich leider los musst. Sag mal nochmal, also wir haben jetzt schon über BCAAs, über den Shake geredet, sag mal noch deine Top 3 oder Top 5 der Supplements für den durchschnittlichen Hobbyathleten.
Also wenn ich so eine Top 5 mal raushau, ohne jetzt das eine zu diskriminieren oder diskreditieren, oder meine persönliche Einschätzung ist klar, ein Whey oder Iso-Whey, je nachdem, ob man Laktoseinsuffizienz hat oder ob man in Vorbereitung ist. Wie Ryan würde ich natürlich auch ein Isolat nehmen, weil schneller verfügbar ist. Zweitens wäre bei mir immer die BCAAs anstelle, drittens Glutamin, viertens Arginin, fünftens Kreatin.
Weswegen Arginin?
Ja, Blutgefäße erweitern. Jeder, der Arginin vom Training zusammen mit Ornithin noch, ist eine geile Mischung. Also ich finde es genial, die Mischung ist wirklich sehr gut. Ein Arginin, BCA, Ornithin-Mix, um die Gefäße zu erweitern, um den Blutfluss, die Muskulatur zu erhöhen, um die BCAAs dann halt auch zu bekommen, um die Muskulatur auch beim Training rundum zu versorgen. Deswegen Arginin, weil ein dicker Schlauch kann viel durchfließen. Ja. Und da wo viel durchfließt, kommt viel an.
So we talked about supplementation, Ryan.
Right.
About Markus' top 5 supplementation. Maybe you summarize quickly your top 5 or top 3 supplementation.
Yeah. So like I said earlier on, since training I've always stuck to BCAA, so I've never really came off that. I do believe you need that around training, before and after. L-glutamine also, very similar mechanism of obviously getting the aminos into the body and to help repair. Obviously a good protein, whey isolate, whey protein. For me personally, there's a very small difference between the whey protein and the whey isolate. Obviously the whey isolate is more fast acting, but in the grand scheme of it, it's very minimal. So between them two, I'll always go for a good, strong multivitamin. What I would tend to do is go from whey isolates or whey protein. When I'm on my maintenance or my off season, I'll go into an all-in-one lean gainer. It just takes the pressure off of having to think about a lot of things. So I'll go into USN Muscle Fuel Anabolic, which is a 50-gram protein. It's got creatine, test boosters, 100 grams of carbs in there. It's got everything I need post-workouts. They're probably they're the only supplements really I consume, and they're always around training, always based around training.
The next topic we talk about is like contest prep. Okay. So maybe the first thing is like, how do I know that I'm ready for a contest or can I compete? And maybe what is your recommendation, how to start, how to find the right contest?
Right, so for me, what I wanted to do, you have to get competition in your head first. You need to know which federation you want to go with and which class you want to fit into, ideally, before you obviously start dieting for a show. The reason for that is you need to go and see what that winning package is. So you look at what your height, your weight is and what class you fit into, and then you start to go to the shows and start doing your research. And what you want to do is look at the winning package and think, how does my physique compare to theirs? What do I need to improve on? Do I need more size? Do I need more condition? Look at their stage presence. Why do they stand out from the other people on the stage? And then you start to put a plan together. You can't think, right, I want to compete and then do it in 6 weeks. You have to thoroughly do your research before stepping on stage. You can do it, you can go in 6 weeks, but why be a number? You want to be a competitor, you want to go there to win. So really do your research before stepping on stage. I wanted to make an impact straight away, so it took me 3 years to get back on stage because I never felt ready. I always thought there was something else to improve on. And when I eventually picked my show, I was always drilled into me about stage presence. You can lose shows no matter how shredded you are, no matter how good you are. If you don't display it in the right way or to your best ability, then you're going to lose shows from it. For me, what I did is got a camera like this set up on a tripod. Set up on a tripod, and I practiced 8 weeks out from my show, 10-15 minutes. I started practicing routines and I started filming them. So I'm doing it in the mirror, but I'm filming it off center. And what it was, I could then look back at the footage and think, right, that pose didn't work for my physique, or that was great. I'm going to put that as my favourite one. And I started to put a routine together. I did it so far out because then you've got so much time to keep practicing and reiterating in your head how you want to look on stage. For me, I always went for my best shot first when I put a routine together. Always go for what I thought was my best shot first and what showed off my assets the best, and finished on that same shot. So it gives the judges first impressions, great first impressions, but everlasting last impressions as well. There's a lot that goes into posing. I could talk for hours about posing because there is so much to do, but they are the basics of it. Is keep practicing. The more you practice, the easier it will become on stage. And if some of you have never competed before and it's your first time on stage, I guarantee the nerves will get the better of you and you will be very, very nervous, as I was on stage. My first time, every time. But if you've practiced so much, the first pose, as soon as you hit your first pose, it becomes second nature because you've done it for the last 8 weeks. So you just get into your routine and it becomes more fluent and things like that. There's nothing worse than looking rigid on stage. The judge will just overlook you if you look out of place by looking rigid. So me blabbering on all about that, it's just about research and really putting the time in.
And what do you think, is there a point that I say like, I'm not ready for competition because I'm too small, I have not enough muscles,
Yeah.
or is anyone able to to try it at least? Even if you can't win, maybe you just gain experience, or do you think you should only compete when you have the possibility to win?
Yeah, okay. So as a competitor, if you are a competitor and obviously training and trying to improve as a bodybuilder, you're building your body, you're always going to pick faults because you're always chasing that perfect physique. So there's never going to be that perfect time you think, fuck, I'm ready, and just do it. It's never going to be like that. So there has to be a cut-off point where you say, right, I've got to step on stage and face my fears and do it. But that being said, I wanted to step on stage, but I was not willing to just be a number. I didn't want to be just a number in the crowd. I wanted to make an impact, and I am a competitor at heart. So for me, I was realistic. I had a coach and trainer around me to say, yeah, you're not big enough, but if you come in condition, and we put a plan together, if I could bring the condition, it gives the illusion of being bigger. And it came to a head where I kept saying no, so I'll have another 6 months and just grow a bit more, and then I'll have another 6 months. That turned into 3 years. And eventually I just thought, no, I've got to do it now and see where my benchmark is, and then get the feedback from the judges to see how to improve. But I was very fortunate, I won my shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was...
Maybe we ask quickly, wer hat schon mal mit dem Gedanken gespielt, auf die Bühne zu gehen, oder wer spielt mit dem Gedanken?
So has anyone competed, or has anyone been on stage before? So you've been on stage before, yeah? One time.
Last year.
And what did you take from that? Regarding, like, did you get feedback, or how did you feel about yourself?
More prep time.
More prep time. So you felt
I had only 6 weeks. It was very spontaneous.
Yeah.
I was by a posing show, and they said to me a little bit diet and you can go on stage.
Okay.
And I tried, and for the first time it was good. I was 4th of 11 for the first time, and it was okay for me. But next time, well, this time, more prep time.
What about your posing? Were you happy with your posing and things like that, or is it just the prep time, just to be more conditioned?
Yeah, posing. Yeah.
But that's a good
all of it.
Yeah,
the package.
But that comes with it. Like I say, you can do it where you want to step on stage and it's a benchmark. For me, I couldn't stand to go on stage and come last because I've not done my research. So, but there are people who step on stage for the first time, oblivious to any research before it or whatever they're doing, to get a benchmark of what they need to improve on, get the feedback from the judges, get a bit of stage time, a bit of confidence. But for me, I just went in the deep end. I was like, no, I want to win. I want to win my first show. So, but yeah, it's just different preferences, really.
Was ich da jetzt vielleicht noch kurz hinzufügen möchte, bei mir ist immer so, ich möchte zum Beispiel, ich habe auch einmal einen Wettkampf gemacht, aber für mich ist die Bühne zum Beispiel nichts. Ich finde immer, ich habe irgendwie gefragt, so, ich brauche das gar nicht so, auf der Bühne zu stehen, jetzt da so meine Form zu präsentieren. Das geht vielleicht einigen von euch so, die sagen, hey, ich brauche das gar nicht. Aber was so ein Wettkampf ein Positives mitbringt, ist, dass man einen festen Termin hat. Ihr kennt es sicherlich alle, ihr bereitet euch auf irgendwas vor, ihr sagt, hey, ich möchte fit im Sommer sein, aber wann ist Sommer? Dann sagt man, jetzt ist Mai, aber schönes Wetter ist doch erst im Juni. Oder im Juli, ich mache dann nächsten Monat. Dann, August ist der Monat, wo ich fit sein will. Und danach, der August ist verregnet, ich lasse es. Dann hat man es irgendwie wieder aufgeschoben. Und das ist eben das Tolle, dass man, wenn man sich an einen Wettkampf vorbereitet, oder der Benefit, meine Motivation, wenn ich jetzt mal einen Wettkampf machen würde, wäre das, dass ich sage, okay, ich habe einen Tag, der ist jetzt schon steht jetzt schon fest, den habe ich in einem halben Jahr und dann weiß ich genau, an dem Tag zählt's. Und wenn ich da nicht durchziehe, dann wäre ich von mir selber enttäuscht und würde natürlich dann auch nicht in Anführungszeichen blamieren. Ja.
What I always do when I'm dieting so it doesn't have to be for a show, it don't have to be for a competition or thing, but you always need a goal in life, and especially in training and anything like that. So if you've not got that end goal, that extra calorie or that rep doesn't count and things like that. So it's very loose. For me, I always set myself a goal. So if it's a photo shoot, if it's going on holiday, whatever something means to you, you'll always reach that goal a lot easier. Your blinkers will be on and you'll be focused a lot more. For me, I always try to get ready slightly early, not too early, because being shredded too early in a competition prep is not an ideal place to be at, because obviously metabolism's fired up, it's trying to find energy from something which it then turns to muscle when you're very low in body fat. So it's hard to maintain size if you come in too quick, but that's hence why I have the refeeds and stuff, and I give myself 12 weeks. So if I am coming in too quick, I can fill up, but if I'm coming in too slow, I can speed it up. And that again, that comes one with experience. Obviously, the more shows you do, the more preps you do, you'll understand your body a lot more. And it's all about trial and error, and then finding out what works for you. But always set yourself a goal. Always. For me, I want to win that Olympia. And everyone was like, "Well, your profile's big enough now. You're second. You're fine." I was like, "No, it's not though. If I can win, my short-term goal is to win the Arnold, which is then going to help with the Olympia." So it's always setting short-term goals to reach your long-term goal.